So our video demonstration of the Specialty Coating Systems PDS 2010 Powerline Deposition Tool. We have the furnace up at a 690 degrees Celsius, and the chamber gauge heater is up at 135 degrees Celsius. The vaporizer is set to 175, but not vaporizing yet, and we do have our vacuum gauge controller here. This is there's a LN2 automatic fill cold probe positioned on the side here for now. What you would do here is hook up your LN2 tank to the line here, and then place the probe on top of that silicone O-ring right here. This does have the stainless steel bell jar. And then looking inside here, I just want to point out we do have a Edwards RV8 vacuum pump, and it's filled with hydrocarbon oil. It's been replaced. The oil's been replaced with new oil. And over here is your vaporizer chamber. So in order to do the deposition, what you would do is go ahead and load up a boat with the Powerline, place it into the chamber, and close that up. At this point, you'd go ahead and put the probe into the chamber right here, the cold probe. Go ahead and remove the bell jar, and inside you can see that there's a rotating shelf. So what I'll do is I'll remove the bell jar so we can take a look at the inside, and then we'll start the process. Okay, as you can see, the shelf is in place. You'd place your work on the shelving, and as you can see, it is rotating. If I disable a vaporizer, it'll stop it from rotating. So what you do at this point, I just want to point out too that these holes on the stack here should be pointing out. So what you do is go ahead and load your work up on here. We'll put the bell jar back on, and then you'll want to put your cold probe in place. As soon as you go to vacuum, the valve inside the cold probe will open up to the LN2. I don't have LN2 here right now, so I'm just going to do a demonstration of the process, and we'll watch the vacuum pump down to the base pressure, and once it hits base pressure, it'll go ahead and start vaporizing, turning on the temperature to the vaporizer. Alright, so at this point we'll go ahead and we'll put the bell jar back on, then we'll go ahead and enable this and turn the vacuum on. Okay, as you can see, we're pumping down now. The bell jar is in place, and the cold probe is in place. And if you look inside, you can see the shell is turning. So at this point, we're going to wait till we hit the base pressure, which is set into the controller. And once it hits the base pressure, we'll see that the vaporizer is going to start vaporizing. I just want to point out we're still waiting for the base pressure, which is set in the controller, to 15 millitorr. Once it hits that base pressure, we'll see that the vaporizer will turn on. The 35 here is the control pressure for the feedback for the vaporizer controller. So if the pressure gets above 35, it'll start lowering the power to the vaporizer. All right, I'm going to send along a DVD with the manual on it. So again, we're just waiting for the base pressure, and I'll come back when I set the base pressure. Okay, as you can see, we're closer to the base pressure now, and what we're looking for is this alarm light to turn on, and that'll enable the heat to the vaporizer to rise. Okay, we have the alarm light flashing, and we'll see that the vaporizer temperature will start to increase. So what will happen once the power lane starts to vaporize, the pressure will increase, and the vacuum controller will control it at 35 millitorr. Eventually the material will deplete, and at that point the process waits for the vacuum to hit base pressure again, and then we'll get a indicator. I believe the alarm turns on to indicate that the process is done. Okay, so we'll come back when we're up at roughly 175 degrees Celsius on the vaporizer. Okay, as you can see now, we're at 175 on our vaporizer. The alarm light is flashing. Because there's no power lane in the vaporizer, we only seen a slight increase in the pressure from 15 to 19. And what it'll do now is it'll simulate it being depleted of power lane at this point, and then it should continue to end the process. And what it'll do is it'll wait for the vacuum to reach the base pressure of 15. We'll get the process start-stop light. The green light here will be flashing on and off to indicate that the process is done. And it will turn off the temperature, the ability for the furnace and chamber gauge to maintain temperature. At the end of the process, what we'll do is hit the green button once to stop, and we can go ahead and unload our chamber at that point. Okay, so we'll come back when we're at end of process. Okay, once we hit the 15 millitorr base pressure, you've seen the alarm light turn on, and now we're in the 5-minute end of process. Part of the program, and after 5 minutes it'll initiate the stop, and what we'll see is the green light flashing. So we'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay, as you can see, the vaporizer was allowed to rise in temperature to get any remaining power lane vaporized during the 5-minute end of process. So once that occurs, we're looking for the process start-stop light to flash, and we know that the process is complete. And what that'll do is it'll turn off. It'll disable the furnace, gauge tube, and vaporizer heaters, but preserve the vacuum. And the process light will be flashing. So we'll come back when that occurs. Okay, as you can see, the process is done now by the green light flashing indicator that the process starts. Stop light is flashing, and it means the process is done. All right. You can see it does preserve the vacuum, and even though the furnace and chamber heaters are enabled, as well as the vaporizer, you can see that the temperature is dropping. So basically you can keep the system like this. For instance, say you weren't there at the facility at the time, you can just let it run out like this. When you come in, and you go ahead and hit the start stop light to stop. At this point you'll want to go ahead and disable your heaters, and at this point you can go ahead and vent your bell jar. Okay, that's our video demonstration of the SCS PDS 2010 power line deposition system.